So my name's Emma.
And my name's Alex.
And we're volunteers with Embrace Cooperation. Today we're at Ruskin Park where we've been doing some grass identification.
And it's part of the Lost Stories of Ruskin Park project. And today we were led by Dominic, who is part of the Species Recovery Trust.
We were identifying some different species of grass in the Ruskin Park.
Perennial ryegrass, Lolium perennae. There's nothing really like this in terms of it forms this very kind of rigid spike, which can't really be muddled up with anything. If you look at the actual flowers on each side, they're rather like a bunch of English people queuing up. It's very orderly. You see, they're all sort of behind each other. They're not kind of barging in front of each other. There's not much to it. It's all rather sort of flat that way.
We were moving around, seeing how different grasses are spread around the park and where certain ones are more prolific.
It was how many?
We're 14 in total.
Yep, one of them it's called the cock's foot. Reason being, thanks. It's weird, but if you go like that, it sort of gives you the impression of a cock's or a chicken's foot. This one may be a little bit better, sort of like that. You can't see it on this one, but at the base, it's sort of getting there. It's extremely flat, and when you run your hand backwards over it, it's quite rough. And the leaf, again, this one's a bit of a dead sort of looking one, but the leaf's a little bit duller. A duller sort of green, sort of goes towards a grey. So that's the cock's foot.
And I have a species of bent. As you can see from the top, it's quite feathery and very soft. And this particular one is called a creeping bent. And you can tell this if you go to here, between the leaf and the stem, there's a small section called a ligule, and on the creeping bent it's particularly large and very raggedy on the top, and it's just a small transparent bit like a fingernail, and that's how you can establish that this is the creeping bent. But in general, bents have this feathery appearance at the top.
Almost pretty like something you might pick.
Yeah.
To put in a vase.
Very soft, and if you put them together in a sort of large clump, they have sort of a pinkish purplish hue about them, and that's how you can distinguish a bent in a field.
The activities, we had just sort of a grid or a quadrant, quite a small area, and you had to find as many species in that area as possible. So that's using, from what you've been taught, identification skills, the feeling, sometimes the smell, and the colour as well.
We did some group sessions where everybody would go and pick one of the grasses that we'd been talking about, and then you'd speak about the grass and explain what species it was, specific characteristics which defined it, and it was a really great way of not only repeating what you'd learned so you would sort of learn it better, but also giving you a chance for everybody else to sort of see how you describe it, and maybe if you were doing it a different way from the way that anybody else would.
Because everyone has to interpret it differently.
Yeah, which is nice because it means you're not going to have the same thing said at you over and over again. So that was really good. And it gave us a chance to talk to everybody as well, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I think it was really nice to see the amount of people that arrived and the different ages. I think that was really nice for me to not only learn, obviously, which is the main reason I came, but also to see how everybody from all walks of life and all different ages is going to be involved in it, and you didn't feel left out in any way, because in certain circumstances it might be an older group of people and you might feel a little bit out of place, but in this occasion it was really great for everybody.
And our guide, I guess you would call him, Dominic, he made it interesting. He wasn't, I guess you could think that grass identification could be quite dull and boring, but he had a kind of a quirky way of remembering some types of grass, and which kept you alert and not sort of trailing off, that kind of thing. So he was quite a good host as well.
It is the one which gets into your socks this time of year.